Welcome to Scrum Masters Elite_UK, a place where we don't just talk about team selections, but dive deep into tactical thinking, the weight of tradition, and the decisions that shape the future of elite rugby. If you love English rugby, the Six Nations, and in-depth analysis, don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey. When England head coach Steve Borthwick announced his starting lineup for the opening match of the 2026 Six Nations against Wales, what stayed with me was not simply the list of the 15 starters or the specific tactical calls, but a very clear sense of the weight of tradition, the pressure of expectation, and the quiet yet decisive movement of a national team in the midst of redefinition. This is not merely the opening fixture of an annual tournament, it is an intersection of deep-rooted history, present ambition, and strategic decisions aimed at the future. The clash between England and Wales will be played for the 144th time since 1881, a number that speaks for itself. It is not just a dry statistic, but a symbol of one of rugby's most enduring rivalries, where every generation of players carries the legacy of those who came before them. In that context, England being viewed as one of the leading contenders for this year's Six Nations title only adds to the pressure. Every selection choice, every position on the field, is judged not only on individual form, but on the ability to withstand the expectations of millions of supporters.
The most eye-catching decision in this lineup is undoubtedly the choice to leave Maro Itoje, England's regular captain, and a symbol of the pack, out of the starting 15. Instead, he begins the match on the bench. It is a bold call, and one that clearly reflects Steve Borthwick's coaching philosophy. For many, relegating a player of Itoje's influence to the substitutes could be seen as risky, even puzzling. Yet, when you look more closely, it reveals the necessary cold pragmatism of a coach who places collective benefit and tactical calculation above individual reputation. Borthwick's decision to start Alex Coles and Ollie Chesham in the lock positions underlines his priority for stability, physicality, and contesting ability in the opening phase of the match, when intensity and collisions are usually at their peak. Itoje, with his experience and game-changing qualities, is held back as a strategic weapon to be deployed when the moment demands it. This is a modern approach, where the starting 15 is no longer simply the best 15 players, but the 15 best suited to the opening scenario, with victory shaped by the full matchday 23. The appointment of Jamie George as captain for the opening match is also highly symbolic. George is not a loud or flashy leader, nor does he embody leadership through explosive moments, but he represents calmness, consistency, and cohesion. In a fixture as emotionally charged as England versus Wales, composure and emotional control can be just as important as raw physical power. The support of vice-captains George Ford and Ellis Genge further highlights the leadership structure. Borthwick is looking at the front row with Genge, Joe Hayes, and Jamie George. The intention to play a solid, pragmatic, and disciplined game is unmistakable. This is not a trio built for spectacle, but for providing a stable platform, allowing the backs to operate effectively. At Six Nations level, especially against a confrontational opponent like Wales, control of the forward battle is always a prerequisite. The back row combination of Guy Pepper and Sam Underhill on the flanks, with Ben Earl at number 8, continues this emphasis on defensive work rate, breakdown contest, and off-the-ball movement. Underhill has long been known for his ferocious, uncompromising style, while Earl brings mobility and strong attacking support. It may not be the most glamorous trio, but it is perfectly suited to a match expected to be tight, physical, and tactically intense. In the halfbacks, the partnership of Alex Mitchell and George Ford feels familiar, yet reassuring. Ford is a player defined by intelligence, his ability to manage tempo and read the game. Mitchell, by contrast, offers speed and an eye for exploiting space. The midfield pairing of Fraser Dingwall and Tommy Freeman strikes a balance between power and pace, defense and attacking contribution. This is an area where England can both control the game and create line-breaking opportunities when needed. The back three of Henry Arundel, Emmanuel Feiwiboso, and Freddie Stewart is perhaps the most emotionally exciting element of the lineup. The speed, daring, and explosive running of Arundel and Feiwiboso, combined with Stewart's reliability, aerial security, and defensive strength, create a highly adaptable unit. Against an opponent expected to use high balls and long kicking strategies, Stewart's presence at fullback is crucial. He is not only the last line of defence, but also a psychological anchor for the entire backline. England's choice of a 6-2 bench split once again highlights a philosophy centred on physical endurance and collision control. With players like Luke Cowan-Dickie, Tom Curry, and Itoje among the replacements, England have the ability to maintain, or even raise, the intensity in the second half. In modern rugby, where matches are often decided in the final 20 minutes, this represents a significant tactical advantage. Steve Borthwick's pre-match comments further underline England's mindset. He spoke about the ferocity of the rivalry, the challenge Wales pose, and the expectation that they will employ a long-kicking game. This shows that England are far from complacent, despite being favourites. His emphasis on executing the plan and maintaining discipline may sound simple, but in high-pressure matches, where emotion can easily overpower logic, these are the hardest qualities to sustain. What impressed me most was not just the tactical clarity, but the way Borthwick spoke about the support of the crowd at Twickenham. A packed Allianz Stadium is not merely a psychological advantage. It is a reminder that every player stepping onto the pitch represents a rugby nation steeped in tradition. That support is both motivation and pressure, and only teams with genuine mental strength can turn it into a source of power. Overall, England's lineup for the opening match of the 2026 Six Nations does not resemble a loud, dramatic revolution, but rather a carefully calculated adjustment. The cautious yet unmistakable step forward. Decisions such as benching Itoje, handing the captaincy to Jamie George, and opting for a 6-2 split all point to a coach building a team that does not rely on individuals, but on structure, discipline, and squad depth. As a rugby observer, I sense a growing maturity.
Six Nations 2026 is not just about winning or losing, but about how England are redefining themselves. If you're passionate about rugby from a tactical and intellectual perspective, subscribe to Scrum Masters Elite _UK. Thank you, and see you again.